Welcome to Big Blend Radio with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
If you go to Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime.org, you will read that in 1986, women wrote 40% of all mystery novels but only received 15% of the book reviews in the New York Times. Sisters in Crime was founded to combat discrimination against women in the mystery field, to raise awareness of the contributions of female authors, and to promote the professional advancement of women who write mysteries. We're honored to start a show every third Wednesday, Tucson Sisters in Crime. This is a chapter of Tucson. So this is a nationwide organization, and they have chapters in different cities around the world or around the country, across the country. But we are starting our first third Wednesday Tucson Sisters in Crime show. We're very excited about this, Nancy. This is cool.
I know. I love mysteries.
I just want to say this before we bring our special guests on. How many men have we interviewed on our show, men authors who write mysteries that are part of Sisters in Crime? A ton. That's what I'm just going to say. Men gravitate towards this too. So it's not just women, but men do get involved in this too, because a lot of times they are writing their protagonists. I don't like the word protagonist, but their main character, let me put it that way, is going to be a woman. And so they're like, hello, Sisters in Crime, I need your help. I'm just saying. But anyway, we have some awesome women joining us today to join us to talk about Tucson Sisters in Crime. And this is where you can learn about authors of Tucson, Arizona, where the book expo happens. This amazing book expo that happens every year. I know COVID has happened, so that's a little bit of a but you're going to get to hear from a lot of authors in Tucson through the show every third Wednesday. So Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime.org is the website to go to. I'm going to bring in Eva Eldridge. I want to say Eva Eldridge. I know her. Like, she's been on our shows for many years. She's part of Big Blend. She's written a lot of articles about parks that she's been to. She loves sci-fi. She loves fantasy fiction. She writes about it all. And you can go to her website, EvaEldridge.com. But Eva, welcome back. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Doing good. So am I right about the male thing of men getting involved in the Sisters in Crime? I'm just saying.
Yes, well, in our local chapter, we call it Sisters and Misters in Crime. The predominant members are female, but we do have several men that are part of the organization, and they always have an interesting perspective, and we welcome them.
I think that's really great that you do that. And I want to bring our next guest on, who is Elaine Powers. Elaine Powers, now, I love what she is doing because she's got animals and reptiles and tortoises and everything, iguanas involved in her work. But I don't know how that relates to crime, but I know she's got a level in there. I know it's in there. But Elaine, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great. It's an honor to be joining you.
Oh, thank you. And listen, ElaineAPowers.com is the website to go to, right? I've got that. Elaine A. You got to have that
Powers,
A in there. Yes. And
it's because
go ahead.
There used to be a national figure salon chain named Elaine Powers.
That's it. That's it. I know. I was like, I know that name from somewhere. But really, you've written how many books? It's like almost 20, right?
26 so
25.
far.
26.
Wow.
Oh, my God. And you got involved with reptiles. And what led you to reptiles and getting, like, into that for kids and parents, too?
Exactly. I'm a biologist by training, and I grew up with reptiles. My brother was allergic to furry animals, And when I became an adult, I realized I had an affinity for iguanas. So I became involved in iguana conservation in different places around the world and ran a rescue out of my home.
Cool.
And they're an endless source of inspiration for stories. And I had intended to write murder mysteries, incorporating the iguanas into them, but I've kind of wandered off into writing science-based children's books. But I'm still working on those murder mysteries. And yes, they will have reptiles in them.
Okay, so that's interesting because I was going like, when we look at who's a member of the Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime, again, go to Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime.org. I was like, what are reptile? What are you doing, Elaine? Like in there. But I kind of think like this is an interesting thing. You think about Cleopatra dying, right? She died by the asp, bite of the asp. I think there's something with reptiles, iguanas, snakes, all of that animals do end up in crime scenes in some way.
Oh, absolutely. And they've even had reptiles blamed for deaths that I suspected were not caused by the reptiles, but the reptiles got a bad rap.
But what about Cleopatra then?
They sit and they watch. They sit and watch because they're just like they're hanging out. They sit and they watch. And then some of them have venom, some do not.
Correct.
And so when something goes down that authorities can't explain, what's the easiest next thing? Who was sitting and watching? So it could be a cobra. It could be anything.
It could be monitor lizards. They had the case of the man who died in Delaware. Did he die of natural causes and the monitor lizards ate by scavenging? Or did they attack and bring down their prey? That we will never know because the lizards aren't saying.
But I don't know how a lizard brings down a dude.
But they do. Monitor lizards are badass.
But
seriously.
they're big. They're big.
Look at
we
that.
Have to say they're big.
When we lived in Kenya, we knew you walking the trail, this one trail, just going from the school bus to home, you had to watch out for the monitor lizards because if they came out, they would whip you with their tail, and you're out. And so it's interesting because I think murder does go into that. Nancy worked for Joy Adamson, which is Elsa the Lion. For those who remember the movie Elsa the Lion, Born Free. Born Free is the movie name. And Elsa was interesting because when the murder happened, Nancy ended up in the police thingy. They were questioning her, and the very first thing was like, Joy Adamson had scratches on her back.
No, she had lion claws.
But it wasn't lion claws. But it wasn't lion claws. It was go ahead, Nancy.
Okay, so there were claws on her shoulders. Like you would think a lion attacked her from the back and put their claws over her shoulders. Except whoever did that or tried to do it, the claws were wrong. It's like they put 5 claws instead of 4 because there's 4 and then there's 1 at the back. Well, they 5 in the front and 1 on the back, which is too many claws for a lion. So I already just took one look and that's not a lion, that's a person. And then you could see that they weren't ragged. Like if an animal takes you down, they're ragged. That was a knife cut. So somebody killed her and then put the sliced her. Oh boy, why are we doing this again?
But I was just trying to say the importance of the animal thing of understanding animals in murder.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was trying to say.
Yes.
Well, I got to tell you, when the very first meeting I went to, the Tucson chapter of Sisters in Crime, Elaine gave the presentation, and she gave a presentation on poisonous snakes and critters of the desert and how they actually kill you and how bad they were. It was really an interesting presentation, and I was hooked from then on.
See, but this is it, because you're right. You have to understand, like the same thing, like that's what I was doing with the Joy Adamson thing was, you can't have knife marks on a back and think that's going to be, that's not how it works. And so, I mean, the guy, anyway, the whole mystery of that goes on a whole other thing, but, and it's still a mystery. They still call Nancy up every few years and say, can you be on a documentary? And they're like, no. So it's a weird thing about that with where you could use animals and snakes, and people will have the wrong snake all the time. Do you find that? Yes. I mean, does that not bug you? Like, it does. Like a boa constrictor is like a venomous snake, like it's a pit viper, and it's not.
No,
Hello?
It's not. Hello. It might strangle you if you're stupid enough to let it do that. You know, it might wrap itself around your neck, and if you're not like, if you're passed out, it could strangle you maybe, but dude, seriously. Sorry.
And if you're going to include a rattlesnake, at least get the effects right.
Yes.
Yeah, and have the incidents right. You know, it really bothers me. You know, use them correctly if you're going to use them.
Yeah. I also want to say, women, and okay, so let me just backtrack. Sisters in Crime. I think this is so important because we've done a ton of radio shows, and I want people to know about the organization that are especially for women writers. We have done so many women's history shows in the month of March. It's Women's History Month, and there's always Women's History Day, and I always want to showcase also women that have really done amazing contributions to our society, that have done amazing things, right? And then there's also these criminal women, and I think we need to know about them. And people like we don't want to talk about these women of our town. And I'm like, well, they're smart. They're smart. Eva Dugan. Wow. Sorry, Eva. Eva Dugan was down south in Tucson, south of Tucson, and she got in trouble. She did get caught because the man she murdered, her husband, his dentures were found in the dirt. So she screwed up as a criminal. But there's also these women criminals. I just want to know from both of you, like, Eva, don't you think we should let these women criminals be there, because sometimes they also were criminals, maybe weed, I don't know, whatever they're doing. There's women criminals, but they were also running a business. They were trying to do what they were trying to do. So I'm just asking, Eva, what do you think?
I'm not sure exactly what you're asking.
Asking.
You want to let the women be criminals?
No, we need to still showcase women that were criminals in our history, in our past. They shouldn't be lost in there. It's okay if, the Gambino brothers, but, hello, we had these women doing this.
Yeah, I don't know why people, they're out there, and there's mystery writer authors that are out there that write, that have women criminals that are really quite interesting. So, and we want those out there, and we as an organization want to promote that. And whether your protagonist, your main character, is male or female, the authors themselves, and this is kind of across the board, women authors are not as reviewed always as the male authors are. So when you go to the New York Times best-selling list, it was predominantly male, but I think that is coming around a little bit, and it's coming around. Our organization, Sisters in Crime, although we're Sisters in Crime, we promote anybody who wants help, basically, because we have people who write science fiction, we have people who write history and biographies, and people that write across the genres. actually, romance kind of, and a lot of cozy mysteries. So we have all of that in our group, predominantly mysteries, but even in the mystery genre, you can go, you have suspense and you have thrillers and you have cozies and you have, I'm sure Elaine can help me with this one because I can't remember all the categories. And, like Elaine, who does children's science books. So as an organization, as Sisters in Crime, we want to help anybody that wants help.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome.
In that. And so, yes, if we have women criminals and you want to write about it, we'd love to have you come join us. And we will do what we can to help.
Okay, so to be clear, it's really about the authors being women as opposed to the characters in the book being women.
Yes.
Oh, no. No, but also, because I know men that have joined Sisters in Crime because their character, their main protagonist, I really don't like the protagonist word. I can't help it. Sorry. Their main character is a female, and she's a criminal.
I'm a pro, and I tagged you.
And so they go in there, and every male author that has done that, they say their success is on Sisters in Crime. The women in the group have helped them so much, reading and gaining knowledge. It's like it's not just, hey, we're an organization. There's something more that they can go, hey, I need help. What do you women think about this? And the women will go, hey, no, we don't do this, we don't do that, or we do this, or we don't do that. And also looking at crime, that this is more, there's the marketing aspect for authors, right? When you join a group like Sisters in Crime, just on a general thing, but also having people come in and teaching you things about crime, right? Like you have to know what a gun is. What gun are you talking about in your book?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So we have speakers that come monthly, not only to help us with the craft of writing, because even though I'm writing children's books, you still have to craft the storyline the same as if I was writing a mystery. But we also bring in experts. We've had the TPD gun expert, forensic experts come in. We'll have PIs and FBI agents and tribal police come in. So that when we write our books, it's accurately portrayed. And so that gives credence to our authors and the quality of work that the Sisters in Crime organization creates and encourages.
But this is interesting, too, because you think about, okay, what about, like, Eva, do you have authors that are, like, okay, you guys are really big in what you do at the book festival. I mean, that book expo that happens in Tucson every year. I know COVID right now has changed things, but what about authors that are they may be based in Maine. Let's just put them there, or Canada. Let's just put them in the cold state. And they're coming down. They maybe could be sun seekers. I say that instead of snowbirds. But get down south, man. It's cold up there. I just did it. Get down south. They could be writing a book that has a criminal based in Arizona. Would they benefit, Eva, coming to be part of Sisters in Crime in Tucson to learn more about the land and the landscape, and even just connect with people that can help them get around and understand the local flavor for what they need for their book, for their research?
Yes, and that's one of the things that we're there for. One of our authors who is actually from Tucson or is in this area, Elizabeth Gunn, one of her series takes place in Minnesota, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, and she travels around. I mean, she used to travel around to in the summertime. She'd go up north, and so she could authenticate her details.
Yeah.
So we bring in speakers, like I said, Elaine was doing a presentation on poisonous animals, poisonous stuff, and it was kind of eye-opening for me because she taught us how much anti-venom they need and what it costs for anti-venom. We've had gun experts. The PI guy was really interesting. He's been there a couple of times. He's really interesting. We've had, and so that's getting the details right. That's one of the advantages of our organization, is that you can actually hear experts talk about these things. So when you're writing, you get your details right, because they will call you on it. If you don't get it right, they will call you on it.
Oh, dude, for sure. It's believability. I like watching crimes and Law and Order and all that, and when the details aren't right, I'm like the first one to go BS.
Especially situational.
You have to match the emotion of the characters, crime scene, and you have to get your crime scene right.
And if you get Tucson wrong, you got over 1 million people that are going to be pissed off with you. You know, Tucson, Greater Tucson is over 1 million people, and they're going to come out like, "Hello, you didn't do this right." I mean, if you think the main cactus is an organ pipe cactus, you're in trouble. You know what I mean? It's like you see that in movies, you read it in books when people didn't get their research right, and I think that's really hard. What's it like, Elaine, in regards to communication on just being members of an organization? Because sometimes you feel like, hey, I don't want to be part of a membership organization because I'm doing my thing, they're going to steal my ideas. What's it like for you on that level of working together versus the stealing thing that people may think?
Well, it's kind of interesting because I actually haven't run into the fear that people are going to steal each other's ideas. On the whole, we're very supportive of each other, and especially when it comes to marketing. You know, if somebody has a good idea of a place where you might be able to sell books, we have been rather encouraging of each other. And, of course, when one of our members is very successful, we want to know how she did it in the hopes that maybe we could do it too. And as part of our chapter for the Tucson Festival of Books, we always have a big booth so that our members can get exposure. And that's one of the reasons we're so excited about talking to you two today, is another opportunity to share our group with people. But we don't tend to be terribly competitive amongst ourselves. We try to help each other out, and because maybe we'll learn how somebody else was successful, and we can be that way too.
I think if you love the art, then you put the art forward, because you can't go forward yourself if the art doesn't go forward.
Exactly. And we all write different kinds. You know, there's a group of people that like spy thrillers, and, not my favorite genre. There's this whole new mystery romance genre that's growing in popularity. I like amateur sleuths. So we cover all gamuts. We even have some true crime writers. Cool. So, we've got most genres covered in our group.
But that's kind of cool, because at the same time, as a writer, like, if you need to bring this one thing in, you have somebody in the group that you can say, hey, like, how do you write a romantic scene or sex scene? Like, I wouldn't want to do that. Like, I don't know how to write that stuff. That's not happening. But somebody else could be on the romantic side and goes, oh, I did this every day, honey. I can help you on whatever, So I think that's what's really cool about these organizations. Like you're saying, I mean, we're the big blend, and we're the big blend for a reason, because variety is the spice of life. You can't. I understand on marketing we have to pigeonhole these different things, and like, hey, if you're a mystery author, you're a mystery author. But at the end of the day, if you're a mystery author, you may have romance in there, and you may have some fantasy fiction and some sci-fi going on. What are we going to do about that?
Yeah, we can even do
want
science fiction mysteries. Yes.
Yeah.
there's a huge market of people out there to sell to. So
exactly.
And the nice thing about
go ahead.
It's just trying to reach them all.
About our yeah, exactly. And a nice thing about our speakers is they often say, you know, even though you can ask questions at the meeting, you can follow up with them, and keep the the conversations going with experts.
Go ahead, Eva. I know you were talking there too.
No, it's just like, you know, one of the advantages of our group, one of the advantages I think of our group is the fact we do our best to offer support. We try to offer craft information, talking the art, how to write this. I mean, there's a lot to it. You need to know a lot of craft to write a good book. Getting the details right is really important. You want to know which gun you're using and what ammunition if you're going to do that. We actually had a demonstration on sword play. It was fencing. We had a fencing demonstration once.
Really? Can I join just for that? Can I join just for that?
And then it's the marketing and the details and the craft. So there's you know, a bunch of different aspects, and we don't do all of them every time. Each meeting is a little different. So yesterday's meeting was a craft meeting for opening lines, which was really good. We had a great lady give the talk and give us a writing exercise, actually. I find that interesting, and I find that helpful. So that's some of the benefit. Also, with the national organization, they have an offshoot called the Guppies for new writers that you can get help through. Also, which if you're a member of the local chapter and a member of national, you get to use that resource also, which is nice.
That is cool, because I know that, I mean, we've been doing interviews with authors for years. I mean, we just celebrated 14 years. And Sisters in Crime has come up probably like a lot, like a ton. Like it keeps coming up. And like I was saying, even it is men like Sisters in Crime helped me out. You wouldn't believe this, but it did. You know, this organization did, and it didn't matter where it was. And so obviously there's like the national level, but then there's the local level. I would think like anybody writing a book that is based in Tucson or the southern Arizona, you know, area would like, hey, let's get in touch if there's any kind of crime, even just a blip of a crime in their book that they should join, right? Eva, would that help them?
Yeah, I think as an aspiring writer, you need all the support you can get. You can't always rely on your best friends and your mother and your family to give you good feedback. You can get better feedback from somebody who doesn't really know you. And so there are critique groups within our organization. You just need to find one that works for you. You can do that, or, you know, like all the other advices. And I think it doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, I don't care what genre you're writing in. If you are part of the organization and you ask for help, one of us will be happy to help you or talk to you or help direct you in the right direction. There's always help available with this group. They're friendly and they're nice and they're smart.
That's cool. So, Elaine, if somebody from the group called you and said, hey, I have a snake in my book, can I ask you a question? Are you cool with that?
Oh, absolutely. And I'd probably give them way more information than they'd want.
I love that.
I believe
but they
that.
probably don't know that they want that information, and then later, as they go to publish, they'll go, "Oh,
no,
I need that."
You
know, I need
exactly.
it. They need it. Yeah. You know, sometimes when you get information, you don't think you want all that information. Then suddenly you realize, oh, hell yes, I need it. You know, it's a very interesting thing in the process. The process is so interesting. And I think that's why groups are so important. I think writers or just it's so solitary. And then you have to have kind of a trust thing in a way. Eva, would you think that the Tucson-Writers group, the Sisters in Crime, let me put it that way, like in a way creates a way to make yourself stick to being a writer, and then also have this group that makes you like you're not crazy for this stuff in your head, especially when it comes to crime. And your Google report.
I think yes, because you need other feedback. You can do. I mean, a group helps. A group can be detrimental too, but as far as our group, I don't think so. I think we're a really good, supportive, helpful
a good point,
group.
Though. Yeah, a bad group is bad. It's like going to the wrong shrink, right? The wrong shrink can take you to another level that you didn't want to go, and that's bad, or a bad level, right? But a good group is a good group, and I think that's important. But Elaine, for you, what do you think about that? I mean, in regards to writing, because it's solitary. Do you want to be around people? In a way, Zoom things are easy now.
Well, for the initial writing, yes, you need to be left alone and get the words on the page. But as my critique group often finds out, when I write something, I know exactly what I meant. Unfortunately, the person who's reading it may not. And so it's very, very important to have other people read your work, make sure it's clear to them, make sure that the elements of the story are working for them as well. Because I'm not writing this just for me. If I was just writing for pleasure, they'd just be on my computer and, nobody else would ever read them.
That's writing for ego, yeah.
They say it takes a village to raise a child. Well, it also takes a village to write a good book. And they've got to be people who will give you honest feedback. Will say, yeah, Elaine, this is the stupidest thing I've ever read, or I really like this part. So, and so you not only have to put it out there, you have to be able to accept what people say about your work as well. And because we're so supportive of each other, you can trust the feedback you get, and you don't feel threatened or defensive. And you have the expertise around to make your work the best it can be.
That's cool. I want to join. I'm like, girl. I love that.
Like you need practice writing, Lisa.
Yeah, but I think it's important that you have a place to go where it's true critique. It's not. Here's the thing, right? When you do something in life, they all go to your family first. Well, your family first sometimes could destroy everything you want to do. That's a really good idea. And then you find your village, and the village will go, this is really cool, but you got to fix this part, and you can go beyond your way. And I think that's really important, because sometimes, they always say, go to your friends and family, and that really may not be the thing to do. And you have to find your voice and find your place. And I'm saying this in regards to writers just starting, wherever you are in the world. I think it's really important that you do find your tribe to join. You find that place where you can get that criticism that you need, constructive criticism, real people coming in, not being a mean bully and just, I'm pissed at you, so I'm going to say this. True, honest, I want you to get better, so here's what I think, and you can take it or not. It's very hard to find.
Yes. There's a certain point of professionalism with that, and it's important that you find the person that doesn't beat you up, as opposed to encouraging and doing constructive criticism. Yeah,
right.
I think this kind of group is important, because I think if you have you're gonna get some negatives in there, right? It's important, but you'll kick them out at the end of the day. But if you can have the good people in there too that tell you, no, it's true. That's just the way life is. Survival.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the way it is. But you're good people. When you connect, you may just one person may just connect with one person that can change everything and make it right for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's it. That's all that one.
You could have a comment, okay, but you don't have to be rude. You don't have to be derogatory, because that makes other people feel your intellect level is below. So make your comment intelligent. Be kind. You can educate. Be kind. You can say your piece. But don't be derogatory, because as soon as you do that, you put yourself on a base level of below intelligence. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Elaine,
yeah.
On that the below intelligence level, they always talk about the reptilian brain. Can I just say that reptiles are actually really up there? I don't believe in the reptilian brain. They're smart.
Oh, no, they're very smart.
Yeah,
my
cool.
iguanas are at least as smart as a cat.
No, they're cool. They're cool. They're way cool, man.
And they've been around for a long time, and so they must not be that stupid. But and they've got personalities. Every one of my iguanas is a different individual with different likes and dislikes. So, no, never underestimate a reptile. I
want to interview them. I want to interview the reptiles.
But you took the time. You took the time to get to know them. Like humans are all like we're all that, and somehow we we decided somewhere that we're more intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Seriously, we have a problem adapting to our world. We have to make stuff adapt to us, whereas the whole animal world, they adapt to where they are. We're the ones who are the odd man out. So, maybe we're more intelligent, maybe we're not. But just to assume we are, to assume we know everything, sorry.
Ask Elaine about Myrtle the turtle and what she does when she's writing during Zoom meetings.
Actually, it's Myrtle the tortoise.
Tortoise, true.
There are many differences between.
Yes.
Okay, wait. I have this word, turtle.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, it's because it was tortoise and turtle. Living in Africa.
Hard.
I had tortoises and
turtle. This tortoise.
I was turtles and tortoises because they were everywhere in all different places in Kenya and South Africa, and so turtle became this word, and so I'm just going to say there it is, turtle. Sorry, Elaine. I know that's not. I know it's wrong, but they were turtles, and I'm one with them because I'm part. I feel amphibian.
Part tortoise.
I'm amphibian. I'm part water and part land. But anyway, turtle is the word. That's the correct word. Eva, I know tortoise, and turtle. I can't even say turtle, but turtle is the word.
Myrtle would disagree with that. Myrtle prefers to be called a tortoise.
I know. She's going to be right. See, this is the benefit of being part of a member, of the Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime. She's going to say, you cannot do that. You will be true with your words.
It's a French word. It's not even tortoise. It's tortoise.
It's my word. It's turtle.
It's a French
word. But
word.
anyway,
no,
go ahead.
Tortoise.
Go ahead, Elaine. Okay. Let Elaine speak. Go ahead. Sorry.
So the tortoises free roam in my house. So you'll have a dog or a cat. They're just wandering around my house.
Mm.
The chair I use when I write is on wheels. And so I'll be working at my laptop, and suddenly I'll feel my chair moving because because Myrtle has gotten down at the base of my chair and is actually strong enough to push me and the chair away from the desk. And she particularly likes Zoom meetings. You know, if she knows I'm on a Zoom meeting, she'll come over, and once again the chair starts moving away from the desk. So it's always interesting writing in my household.
It's funny to watch too.
You never know where you're going to end up. And I come back in, and she has rearranged the furniture for me.
Oh, I love that. And can she clean our car? No, but that's it.
No, she's not really good at cleaning. No.
But you could supervise it.
But I do have a 150-pound tortoise that when I take in my car.
Wow,
at
that's
a stoplight, you'll
huge.
actually see my SUV shaking because he's moving in his container in the back.
How do you get him in there?
In the container?
In the container.
Yeah, no.
He's in one of those big storage containers with wheels. And so I have one of those animal ramps, and then I push the wheeled container up into the back of my car.
Wow.
That explains it.
Well, I also want to ask you, I know we talk about the animals thing, but I also want to talk to you about poetry because this is something very important. We've done a lot of shows with the National Parks Arts Foundation of poets in parks, and I feel like poetry is like this dying breed, but then in some ways it's like, hell no, we're still here. The Poetry Foundation is awesome. Chicago started this whole poetry slam thing, and we used to host poetry slams out in Southern California back in the day. And I love that you incorporated poetry, Elaine. And Eva, you write poetry, and I think this is
only when forced.
No, but come on. Well, I know, but you sweat. Don't we all sweat when we're writing? No matter. This is the thing. When you write, I don't care if it's a novel, an article, I don't care if it's one poem, you're going to sweat blood, sweat, tears, all of it, and anger. You're like, I had this great idea, and then when you start to write it, you're like, damn it. Like, I'm trying not to go into the whole bunch of words that I have for it because it's really colorful. But it's really, damn it, it's hard. You have this, you know it, and you want to do it, and then here it is. And then poetry, let's do this. And whether it rhymes or not, but like it is, it's like, and it's songwriting is almost easier, but it's not. No, because I do that too, and it's I'm trying to bleep myself. So
it's about attention span.
Yeah, but poetry, you guys are all part of that. Elaine, you write poetry. Eva, you do.
It's about
so if somebody
attention
came
span.
into the group and said, I'm going to write murder poetry, Eva, is she allowed it or he allowed it? Is that okay?
What, murder poetry?
I'm going to come in, I'm writing murder poetry. I'm going to write about murdering somebody. I'm going to write it in poetry.
Sure. You could do that. I would like to read that, actually. That might be, could be very interesting.
Lizzie Borden style. Yeah, like, I did, I didn't.
Well, Lizzie Borden had an axe. That was poetry right there.
Because I'm actually the president of the Tucson Poetry Society.
Elaine,
I got
know that.
Yeah,
cool.
And I got in there because my picture books rhyme. I believe all picture books should rhyme. So if you can get science through poetry, you can certainly get murder mysteries through poetry. Look at Edgar Allan Poe and even Jack London.
Absolutely.
Jack
those
London.
are poetry that tells about murders.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
It's a fact of life.
It's a rhythm. And it's crazy when you think about crime and murder and mystery. I mean, it's just so amazing. I love that. I love that, number one, that there is a Sisters in Crime organization at all. To me, that's amazing. That someone got together and said, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to let women come together. I love that. And then
so it's a Tucson Festival of books. You know, we have a big old booth there when we have it, and they put the name of the organization up on top on the banner on the top of the booth, and they do that for everybody. That's part of the thing. Well, we get a lot of people stopping by reading Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime, reading our name, and not having a clue what we do. And they go, really? What do you do? What do you guys do? I mean, are you out there planning crimes? Anyway, it's pretty funny with your organization name. Yeah, so well, you just throw that out there into the general public, and what kind of reaction are you going to get?
Okay, well, let's talk about that, because there's the writer support, right, which we're talking about with both of you, and we've had a great chat about that. But then what about libraries? Like, libraries are so important, and what I was reading is that you guys are a champion for libraries, because at one point, getting taken out of schools, right, libraries were getting chopped. They were on the chopping block. And something we document as we travel across the country is libraries and literary landmarks. We've done everything from Michener in a library in Greeley, Colorado, to what's his name? Oh, Grape to Rest guy. Sorry, Steinbeck in California. Like, documenting these places. But the libraries, it dawned on me as we were traveling the country nonstop, right, that it's not just the courthouses and the parks, it's the libraries. We need to document libraries, because libraries are always on the shopping block.
That's a safeguard for the written word. If you take away the written word, what are you left with?
Yeah.
I think Pima County does really good job with their libraries. In fact, they're opening another new branch if we ever get to be out in public again. But we didn't we do something? What did we do with Florence Library, Elaine?
Yeah, every year they pick a library in the area of their chapters and give them a grant, and to help publicize them, and and provide a little financial incentive as well. But
it's important that they get the books, because there's books in certain areas of the country, and especially in Mississippi, where they haven't had new books since 1940. So helping any library get new books is so important, and that's beautiful that you're doing that.
I have to say, I grew up as a kid on welfare, where in order to pass tests in my school, I haunted the library so I could get the books, so I could read what the teacher was talking about and go pass the test. And I think that should be open to everybody all the time, forever. Libraries.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, to cut them off and make it like only the elite get stuff, no, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
That's a downfall of society, when only the rich get the stuff. That's a downfall.
I think one of the things that our chapter does is we do our best to promote the local bookstores too. We've done stuff with I can't remember the name of the bookstore. What's the little one that we use? Mostly books. Antigone, have we used Antigone for anything?
I don't think so. There's the other one. But his name I'm blanking on.
But for people who can't pay for a book,
you're doing local bookstores, which is so important. Even during COVID, like when we do author interviews, I always say, go to your local bookstore and ask them to order it for you, so it can go through you versus, the other things. You know what I mean? It's like even where we are right now, you can still support your local bookstore. It's so important. They're just as important as our library. The two are so important. And I love that about what you do is Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime. You're part of that. That's important.
Yes. And they've also done, and with the libraries too, there's sometimes an opportunity to go talk to people at the library, at a library session. I know a couple of our authors have done that, haven't they, Elaine?
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
Like Green Valley and Oro Valley and stuff. Yeah.
Sierra Vista. Yeah, Green Valley usually has us down once a year, back when we could meet in public.
Yeah. It's hard now. I know. As we talk, it's like so hard and different, but it is. I mean, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of our libraries, and you can, when you look at books that are published in your area or about your area, ask the local bookstore, ask the local library to get them in there. We really, as readers, need to step up. Wouldn't you say, Eva? I mean, am I being too brittle on the readers? But I'm just saying.
No.
Oh no.
That's how they get new. That's how they get new authors. I mean,
exactly.
You as a member, I mean, even us as an organization, we encourage our members to talk to their libraries. If they really like, let's say, Elizabeth Gunn's books, and the library doesn't have it, they can request that book. Right?
Yeah.
And if they don't have Elaine's books, we can go into the library and request the library acquire Elaine's books for children. So, or whatever. Anyway, we would do that too. I think that's part of being our organization not only encourages men, sisters and misters, as we say, but we encourage readers to join. We have a few associate members that are readers, and we want them in our group also. They get to benefit from the presentations, which can be really interesting, and they get exposed to new authors because some of our smaller authors that aren't nationally known, they get the opportunity to read their books. And if we ever have in-person meetings again where we get to do our raffles, we give our books away. So there's just all kinds of opportunities.
I think for fans also, it's like an insider part of it, It's like I'm connected with the authors in this inside mind, that create this beautiful piece of work.
Yes.
It's beautiful, and it's lucky to. I didn't know that you did that. I didn't know that you allowed people that weren't authors. That.
We're very easy.
We are.
Don't say that.
Anybody who's interested in
radio, they know when you say easy that it's like hello. Ha ha ha. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But that's awesome. I think, because even so many men that we've interviewed, like and Nancy, how many? I mean, we've interviewed one mystery author after the other that's just been like, their protagonist. I hate that word. Is a woman, and they've gone to the Sisters-in-Crime for help every single time. They've gone there.
Protagonist always a woman?
I don't like the word protagonist. Stop it. It feels like you're going to be in jail and someone's going to do something.
I think the protagonist is usually a woman because everybody expects her to fail and has to go look for a male to help her out.
Okay.
They're being the Dudley Do-Right of cartoons. Like, I come to save the day. So write something where maybe the protagonist should be a guy and he fails and has to get help from a woman.
And Elaine's turtle.
Turtle.
has
Tortoise.
like a little
Mm-mm.
little note that was put in their little cage over there on the side on the right, and nobody was supposed to know except for one person, and
But
that's
how
the
about
little part. See?
But how about the protagonist being a guy, and he needs to go to a woman to help him? So the other way
That's
around.
always but that's usual. Oopsie.
No.
That's true life.
Elaine, save us with some animal stuff. Like, seriously, somebody could go, like, I'm going to put this by the animal cage over here, but that wouldn't work, right? That's the part of it, too. In their book, like, I'm going to do this with this animal. There's a zoo over here. There's a crime going on in the zoo. And I'm going to put this over here, a note for somebody over here. But you can't because the animal might eat it. You know, you've got to do it in this way, right? You've got to be smart about it. So that's part of it.
Well, or you never know.
I know, it's funny. I'm just being silly. Sorry.
Lisa and Nancy can create stories.
Yeah.
They're very good at creating stories.
Listen,
I speak from experience.
But
I'm even
honestly,
thinking of a children's mystery where one of the iguanas solves the crimes in reptiles.
That's so cool. Yeah.
I'm into that.
And he has to have a magnifying glass, like in one of his claws. Just go round.
I love children's books doing that. I know.
Kind of like. No, he'd be like Columbo, like
exactly.
You keep bumping into stuff.
No, but I really love that children's books are part of that because kids have got to get beyond their phones. I know our books and everything can be digital and PDF.
You're not going to win that. You're not going to win that. Right?
I know we're never going to win that war.
No,
but
you're not going to win that.
For kids, that what you're doing. You've got to feel a sense of gratification that you're getting them into some kind of interactive mind of feeling something other than the phone. You know what I mean? Getting out there and understanding nature.
And also introducing science to the adults that are reading the books along with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
kids will nag their parents.
Yes.
They do.
Yes.
They do. Yeah, that's a given, and it's great. Thank you both.
We need to.
Go ahead.
We need to increase science education in this country. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing my small part.
Think? Gosh. I mean,
well,
it's like...
listen. Sisters in Crime. That means science, right?
Yes.
Doesn't that, Elaine, in some ways, right?
You got the forensics.
Absolutely.
You got the body physiology. Why did that person die? How much? What caliber gun do I need to use to kill that person? It's all science.
Yeah.
And I think I love what you do with animals. Thank you for what you do. And Eva gets to be this crazy like, I'm going to be romance, fantasy, travel writing. Eva does whatever the hell she wants. And that's true.
She does it well.
That's the most honest thing about Eva. She will do what she wants. So, EvaEldridge.com, everybody, keep up with her there. And then you got to keep up with, oh my God, Elaine, you gotta come back on our show. ElaineAPowers.com. What she's doing is awesome. Really, we love what you're doing. And because
anytime.
The nature part, what we're doing, and we gotta look. I would never think a reptile person would be on a Sisters in Crime show. But that's the beauty of this.
Awesome.
That's the beauty of this. That is, isn't it right, Eva? When you said, hey, we're going to do this, it's all on you, Eva, that we're doing this show. It's all on you. I'm just saying.
I'm pushy that way.
Well, this is all. So every third Wednesday, you will hear an interview with a Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime lady or man, and this is all Eva's doing. So I'm just saying, it's her fault.
It is.
I'm not saying it's her fault. It's a good thing.
So
it's a good thing.
when in a couple, man and woman, married or not, whatever, one decides. Are you trying to be politically correct? No. One decides to take the other one out. And then they get reptilian, and the eyes blink, and the tongue goes flicker.
Elaine, help her.
There used to be a TV series called V.
Don't let them start.
Remember the TV show V?
Yeah, exactly. The tongue
interviewed
comes
people
out.
that were part of that. Like not far. Yeah, we just interviewed somebody that was part of V, like not long ago. But V, that V show was weird. Yeah,
that
it was weird.
Crazy. I'm like,
It was one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nobody else knows about that show other than us and you.
No, it's the best show ever.
It wasn't not crazy. Eva, come on, you didn't see
me?
You got to see
I don't think so, but you know me in TV.
Yeah, but
I don't do much TV.
You need to see V.
See, this is
the
weird thing.
Ever.
We have. Okay, Elaine, do you want any of your characters of your books being in a TV show?
Yes, and actually, I have a YouTube channel where one of my characters introduces other animals. He talks about some of my other pets, but we're also making a little video about his book. So Curtis Curlytail.
That's what I thought. I saw that. I did know. I'm just saying. I just think it could be a series. I'm just saying.
Yes.
And Eva, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes.
Are you there?
Who? I'm
here.
Yes, Eva's there.
Okay, go ahead. What you were saying, Elaine? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, and my family members will show up in my other books as well.
There you go. Scandal.
Well, I would like to put my family members in the book.
Yeah. No.
Is Biden ever going to
has
in
put them
one of them?
As victims?
Everybody. See Sisters in Crime. ElaineAPowers.com. Everybody, Elaine, go check out her book, but also EvaEldridge.com. Eva, dude, we've had a lot of history of writing and travel. Like you didn't do travel writing for a while, and then you did.
I didn't.
And then you also
you're responsible for the travel writing. You are totally and completely responsible for my travel writing.
But we had to put you in we had to say you got to do that because you travel. You had to do it. So it's like I know that you do sci-fi and then you do stuff that's fiction, sci-fi, and then I didn't understand it all until reading it, and then I was like, oh, she's being we're beaming up. We're going to beam up.
But each place could
and
be
you can have sex while you beam up too. Just saying.
Pardon?
You can have sex and beam up too, and you can be little.
I just think each destination offers a crime scene.
Well, I'm hoping to get to that point again. Right now, it's a little grim because there's not much traveling going on.
Yeah,
but we're rooting for a future of travel and adventure again.
We're just totally pissing you off right now.
But then I'm just going to go to the crime within your own place several times over.
That's kind of what I'm working on writing now is crime in Tucson.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
See?
I don't want any crime in Tucson. I live Tucson. However, you got Peccary.
It could be in one house. like?
No, that's not, well, yeah, my book is more about pot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you'll just have to wait to read it. I'm cleaning it up now.
God. Really?
Cool. Awesome.
Get on it. Like
Pot crimes. Pot crimes in Tucson.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Mm.
Saguaro happy.
Yep.
Happy Saguaros. It's all good. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you, Elaine. Sorry, I know we get silly. We are Big Glen Radio. Hashtag silly and stupid, but we're not stupid. We're not stupid at all. We are silly and we have a good time. But we really appreciate you and what you do. And we really appreciate what's going on with Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime. I think this is awesome, and we're excited to do a third Wednesday show every month. It's just going to be cool. Excellent. So we can talk about all the different authors. We can have, oh, my God. Look, because seriously, that's the thing that's so exciting. I'm excited about this. Eva's like, you got to do this. We're like, yeah. But then I'm like really excited. Like, think about it. You're in the desert. People bury people in the desert all the time.
Kidding.
Even Dugan, the only reason she got like figured out was because of the freaking dentures in the desert. So, like, I'm sorry, but I'm into this whole thing. Like, the desert is the hotbed for crime. So go to Tucson.
Dude, I'm going to start watching my back.
I know, but we're not in Tucson right now. Right now, today we're in Florida. But Florida Sisters in Crime has got to be pretty good. But Tucson Sisters in Crime, seriously, there is stuff that has happened all the way down to the Mexico border, all the way through Tucson. Tucson's 1 million people plus. Like, come on. So much has happened. You gotta get involved.
Take it to the White House, babies.
No, who cares about that?
That's not a good subject for right now.
No. Just go with what's going on in the desert, man. The desert, the crime that happened in the desert. Are you kidding me? In the Tucson desert. Just go to Tucson-Sisters-in-Crime.org. Thank you. Thank you, Eva.
Thanks, guys,
for doing this.
Thank
you, Elaine, for joining.
Oh, thank you very much for having us.
All right, you too.